AMD stock surged after the OpenAI deal was announced last week. It's trading at $214 at the time of this recording with a market cap of $350 billion. Is it too late to buy AMD? What will be the new price target for 2030 after this deal is baked into the valuation? This is what I'm going to cover in this video. Please note, this is not financial advice. I'm not qualified to give financial advice. I'm simply recording my thoughts about AMD. Now, at the time of this recording, I do own shares of AMD at a cost basis under $60. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's continue growing together. Now, let us look at what I have shown in the past for AMD valuation. Now, you see three segments to that valuation. I've explained why I did the valuation this way in my previous videos on AMD. So please check them out if you're interested. But let me give you just a quick refresher. AMD reports revenues in three different segments: data center, client and gaming, and embedded. These have very different growth rates and profit margins, and therefore deserve different multiples. So I do the valuation for these three segments separately with their respective growth margins and multiples. And in the end, I add them all together to get the AMD stock price target as a company. Now, my price target for 2029 was $221. It was trading at $109 when I did that video, and I called AMD a 2x opportunity. So whoever bought the stock when I did the video got a 2x in less than a year, and that is a nice gain. So congratulations to you all. Now, let me know in the comments if you bought AMD stock and what's your gain on it. Congratulations to you. But this OpenAI deal changes the valuation, especially their data center segment. So I'm going to show you a revised valuation. Now, for this, we need to estimate the new data center revenue for 2030. Let's estimate that now. So as you can see on the screen, OpenAI will deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs across multiples in the second half of 2026. AMD did not give a revenue figure officially. They just said this deal will fetch tens of billions of dollars, and that really does not help. So we have to rely on estimates. Now, analysts estimate 17 billion revenue per gigawatt. So 6 gigawatts gets AMD to 105 billion total over the 6 deployment period. Now, obviously, this will happen in phases, so they won't make all of this 105 billion at once. It will be spread over years 2027 through 2030. So 105 billion over 3 years roughly get 35 billion each year for AMD. Now, currently, they are already making $14 billion with the data center. So as shown on this new snip, AMD can ramp their data segment revenue from 14 billion to 42 billion, which is a triple. This is an optimistic projection. Now remember this 42 billion figure for 2030 revenue of the data center. Let me now show you the snip that shows a revised valuation for 2030. As shown on the screen, data center revenue is 14 billion now, but I estimated 30% growth for next 5 years to get them to $52 billion. But if you remember, the 42 billion that I just mentioned earlier is what analysts are estimating. But I'm going to be more optimistic. So this 52 billion is quite optimistic. AMD typically has a margin problem, so due to their high operating costs and not much pricing power, they have been maintaining 30% operating margins for data center. So it will result in 25% net margin. I am applying 50 multiple, like what NVIDIA is getting. And this is optimistic, but I am applying a 50 multiple for AMD lovers out there. So with this, the data center will be worth $650 billion market cap for AMD. Currently, AMD has 1.7 billion outstanding shares, but since they offered OpenAI 10% of the company with certain restrictions, I am assuming the outstanding shares will be 1.9 billion by 2030. This will yield to a stock price of $342 for the data center segment. Now, for the client and gaming, I'm assuming 10% growth, 10% margins, and 25 multiple. Currently, they're not doing well in gaming at all, and we all know their CPU segment is too cyclical. Therefore, $29 is reasonable for the client and gaming segment. Now, the embedded. The embedded segment, that is highly profitable, but its growth is non-existent. So I'm estimating growth of 10%, which is quite optimistic. Margin of 30% and a multiple of 30 gets me to a $25 share price for the embedded segment. Now, when I add all these three segments, I get an AMD 2030 stock price target of $396 by 2030 with the optimistic assumptions for all the AMD lovers. Based on the current price of $214, this is an 85% gain in 5 years. But in my opinion, there are so many opportunities in the market that can get me 100% gain in 5 years, even with reasonable and less optimistic results. So as of right now, I am not buying AMD at $214. If it gets to $180 or below, I may consider. Don't forget to like this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.